daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. What's going on, everybody? Here we are, another episode of Make the Right Play. As always, we got the coach on my left, Leesan Villa. We got your buoy behind the camera, making everything work for us, making everything sound good for us, making sure all the clips are playing, looking good for you guys, making sure you guys are enjoying everything. Unbelievable night. We are here. It's Ash Wednesday, start of the Lenten season. It's a big time season for us, and especially for you, Coach, our spiritual advisor here on the show, as some would say. And Coach, what is going on? I mean, so many things going on, but obviously Ash Wednesday.
Well, I have to say, Carlos, this morning we went to church. It was like 6:30 in the morning because we have to get our ashes because you have work, Olivia has school. You know, we have things going on. So we went to church. And when I went home and I started preparing for the show, I actually got really depressed to the point that I couldn't even write anything.
Why did you get so depressed?
I was so upset because when I was thinking about the speech last night, I really could feel the hatred coming from the Democrat Party. And I could feel it. And I said, how could these people not love their fellow Americans? How do you not clap for a kid who has cancer? Yeah. Like that really made me so sick. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I can't even really work today. Like I couldn't even write because I just felt so hopeless.
Well, that's why you're our spiritual advisor, because you haven't lost the faith yet. And see, the Democrats, they are some of the worst people on the planet. They really are.
Well, they are
yesterday. Just nasty people. They're nasty humans. And rather than, applauding a kid who, 5 years ago was told you have months to live, and now is he's being respected around the country by different police forces. All he wanted to do was be a cop. He obviously can't do that, but police forces are giving him honorary positions. And then Trump decides, you know what? I'm going to make you an honorary Secret Service. He'd probably do a better job than the Secret Service he had in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's for sure.
I mean, he makes him an honorary Secret Service member, and the Democrats, they couldn't even get up and clap for that. They are just the nastiest group of people. I mean, we're gonna talk about the speech last night and how much of an unbelievably good speech and great job that Trump did. Because let me tell you, it was unbelievable how good it was.
Honestly,
unbelievable.
It showed so much vision for our country.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it was all positive. And
all
it had
positive
solutions. And it was just like, let's try to take a look into the future together. We can work together.
Yep.
And listen, I understand if the Democrats want to have an attitude about certain things, but there's certain points that you have to say, listen, we're Americans together.
Right.
So if there's a fellow American who was murdered and we're going to honor that memory, we're not going to disrespect that memory. If there's a hostage that's brought home and the 95-year-old mother's with him, we're going to be happy and we're going to clap and be like, we're glad you're home.
Yes.
And it's just like,
nope, screw that guy.
It was the most disgusting thing I had ever seen.
Yeah.
And it really got me depressed because I'm like, we really do have the enemy within.
Yes,
like we do have an enemy in our own country that would rather see us fail and be miserable than to see us be successful and happy and maybe progress in this country.
And that's the Democrat elite.
Well, that's evil.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
pure evil.
You're 100% right. It is pure evil. It's disgusting. And like I said, we're going to get into the speech. We're going to really break it down. And we got some clips. We'll talk about some of the great parts of the speech and some of the things that we enjoyed the best. But, I do want to touch, because we talk a lot about God and how important God is, and how the people we speak to, and how everybody needs to really find God and try to center their lives around God again. And I think that this Lenten season is so important, because I think this really gives everybody an opportunity to do that. And I think it's very important for those who are watching and those who you're talking, share it with and things like that. Really encourage people to get back to church, right? Use this Lenten season to really get back to church, find that center of gravity, find yourself, following God's rules and finding that connection with God. It's so important, and it's such a great thing to do, especially at this time of year. I really just wanted to make sure I hem that in, because I think it's this Lenten season, especially as we talk about the divide in the country, it's important for us to come together around God.
What are our guiding principles?
Yeah.
You don't get your guiding principles from man. I'm sorry.
Correct.
Like, that has to come from a higher power.
Yeah.
And I believe it comes from Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I was thinking about this, and I know that people say, oh, well, your family can pass down things. What do you really know past, like, maybe your great-grandparents?
Yeah.
Like, what more? Like, for the most part, history fades from, one generation to the next.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ has been around for 2,000 years.
Yep.
And that has to mean something. 2,000 years, Jesus is still here.
Right.
And it's just like, this life is going to be gone.
Yeah.
And don't you want to have eternal life? I mean, if it was fake, it wouldn't have lasted 2,000 years. I'm sorry.
100%.
Nothing that's a lie lasts 2,000 years, okay? Kingdoms have come and gone, and the Catholic Church is still here.
Right.
And Jesus is still here.
Exactly.
And it's, he's not going away. Bad news for you, Democrats, because there's an opposite of heaven, and it's called hell. And a lot of you are headed there. A lot of you are headed there because your values are not in the next life, it's in this life. And you're willing to sell your own men down the river for cash, money, and power.
Right. It's true.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah, it absolutely is disgusting. But like I said, they really they don't have a ton of morals, guys. I want to reiterate this. We do have a link in the chat for those who are watching on Rumble and on X and on YouTube, guys. There is a link there if you want to join the show, want to chime in on the conversation, want to talk about your Lent experiences, or talk about the speech last night. Anything, make sure you guys hit that link. Feel free to join the show. We'd love to hear from you guys. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty, Coach.
All right, let's go.
Talking about division in the country.
Yes.
Right. one of the biggest things that I noticed from last night's speech was how, we were talking about how the Democrats weren't clapping for anybody. Surprisingly enough, or not that surprising, they didn't clap for their fellow Kennedy. And the Democrats, they love the Kennedys. The Kennedy really founded the Democrat Party.
This is actually one of the things that made me so upset.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest. If you're an Irish Catholic in this country, chances are you come from a line of Democrats, okay?
It's true.
My father was a Democrat. My mother's a Democrat. Like, that's something that you're a Democrat, right? So I was watching JFK's speech, and that's what got me so depressed. Because they said, this is the Democrat Party that my family was a part of. That demonic group of sickos that was at that State of the Congress address or whatever, that is not the Democrat Party that I know. Well, you know, the State of Congress address.
Right, because it wasn't the State of the Union. It was like a makeshift
But the thing is that it broke my heart.
Yeah.
So we should show some of Kennedy's
that speech.
I think we should.
Yeah, there was a certain part that I highlighted that I thought was really important to listen to about unity. So let's go with that. Let's show clip 4 here, you boy.
We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty. We pledge our word that one form of colonial control shall not have passed away merely to be replaced by a far more iron tyranny. United, there is little we cannot do. Divided, there is little we can do. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
That's the line right there.
Yeah, well, that's a great line.
It's a famous line. But I love that. United, we could do so much. But divided, we could do so little. And that's the biggest thing. And one thing that I noticed heavily last night at that speech is no matter what Trump tries to do, how much can he actually do when you have half of Congress sitting on their ass, being so disgusted and so miserable?
Rooting for the failure of our country.
For the failure of the country.
Because they don't want to see him successful at all. They have such bad TDS that they're rooting for the failure of our country.
Yep.
But Carlos, one thing that I have to say is that when Kennedy ends that speech, he says, asking that God's work here on earth must truly be our own.
Yep.
Do you know what that means? That means like, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace.
Yes.
Let me do your will, Lord, here on earth. And it's like the Democrats are satanic and they want to do the devil's work.
100%.
50 years later, right? This was like back, I think it was in 2012.
Okay.
The DNC had a convention, okay?
Right.
And this man, what was his name? His name was Antonio Villaraigosa. He was the mayor of Los Angeles.
Well done.
So the thing is that he's at the DNC and he has to get a vote. And one of the votes was, do we include God in the platform and acknowledge that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel?
Yeah.
Or do we leave God out and, screw the Jews, essentially, right?
Well, it's always
Do you know that they cheered more to leave God out of the platform?
Right.
But Antonio couldn't take it. Antonio was like, because he doesn't even want to be part of such an evil organization. So he goes, okay, it passed. We're going to have God on the platform. All the Democrats start booing. This is in 2012. They all start booing.
The Obama days.
So imagine to go from JFK, where it's like, let us do God's work with our lives, to then in 2012, it's like the Democrats have turned into a socialist anti-God party.
They're completely anti-God.
It's not even,
they are.
It's not even like,
just
listen,
truth.
We're not religious. It's anti-God.
Yeah.
That is the point that they have gotten to.
It's true.
And yesterday it showed.
Yeah.
It showed.
100%. 100% it showed. But listen, it showed back when they had the DNC. And they had abortion trucks.
And
they had they have just become this disgusting, godless organization. That's just who they are now.
They're anti-family. They're anti-family. They're not for the family.
They're not for the family at all.
And they're for the state. They want you to live for the state.
Yep.
You go, you work, you live for the state, you pay your taxes, and let the state tell you what to do, how to live, and it's disgusting, and I've had it.
Yeah.
I'm not putting up with that shit.
Right.
And you know what? over 70%, like 78% of the country agreed with us and agreed with Trump and loved Trump's speech last night.
100%.
So when the Democrats were busy not clapping and not supporting the president and his vision for America, an overwhelming majority of the country did.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. So the Democrats, you've been canceled. You know how you love cancel culture? You love the cancel culture, right? You're canceled, Democrats. You're canceled. You didn't clap for a little boy with cancer. You're canceled.
Canceled.
The Democrats are canceled.
The United States is giving up the Democrats for Lent.
Yes, that's what we're giving up for Lent.
We're giving up the Democrats for Lent here in the United States of America.
Yep.
Matt Judd, you're 100% right. The party of the
100%
hate.
right.
The party of hate. That's what we got to do. We have to turn away from the hate. And the Democrats are all about hate. They would rather hate, and get nothing done and make Trump miserable and make it impossible to get anything done than rather to have success for this country. They do not want the country to have success. They do not want the people of this country to have success. That's not what they want at all. They made it very evident last night in the speech. And it's just, it's really absolutely disgusting that they couldn't clap with a kid with cancer. For Christ's sake.
That really turned my stomach.
Yeah.
You know, but Carlos, you have to show a picture of Rose DeLauro.
Holy shit, Rose DeLauro.
Okay, this used to be my congresswoman
State of Connecticut,
in Connecticut.
Congressman.
And people don't
Matt
believe
Judd,
me.
this is your
They
congressperson
don't believe
right
me
here.
when I say this was my congresswoman.
Let's show it. Let's show it. A picture of
That was number
Rosa.
6, please.
Rosa's number 6. The coach is on it
Look
tonight.
at this.
Coach is on it. Look at that.
She's like a freaking witch. Is that a congresswoman or is that a witch? That's
Right?
like
Is that
Stregonona over there.
That's the face. That's her and Pocahontas.
Oh my gosh,
And it's
she
the face
was
of the party.
so ugly. I'm like, I can't. Thank God I left Connecticut because I could not have that woman represent me.
I gotta say, at least Nancy Pelosi tries to put it together.
Oh, she looked pretty bad herself.
She looked
yesterday.
bad, but let me tell you, she tries to put it together. That's a disgrace. That's an absolute disgrace to be your congressperson.
It
Come on,
really
Connecticut.
is.
That's a disgrace.
And you know what's so funny is that when I show that picture to people in Connecticut and Florida, they're like, "You're lying. That's not really a congresswoman. There's no way this woman could be in Congress." I said, that was my congresswoman.
I know.
That was my congresswoman. And that's one of the things that I was like, that really motivated me to move, to be honest
Absolutely.
with you. Because I said, this lady is not representative of me.
Right.
I love people. And that's what I think makes me so upset, is because I truly do love my Democrat friends. And part of the thing is why, but after yesterday, I was like, you know what? I have to
what are you
say,
saying?
I
What are
was
you
feeling
saying,
very
Coach?
unchristian-like. I was like, these people have gone too far. They have TDS, and now they've turned their whole
Coach,
march towards hatred.
unchristian-like.
I know, but I started praying again.
Spiritual advisor.
I know. I started praying again, and I'm cured, and I'm willing to do the show and continue trying to reason with you Democrats.
Continue to try to reason. There is no. I really don't think that the Democrats will ever get to a point of reason. Honestly, like I don't think that they could ever do it. I don't think that they would. I mean, even we're getting to the point now where the Democrats were so embarrassing last night that even their own party are making fun of them. Steve Colbert, the number one, dick rider of the Democrats on CBS late night show.
Did you just say dick rider?
He's a dick rider.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
he rides
Carlos.
that dick of the Democrat Party. That's true. Yeehaw, yeehaw, Stephen Colbert. Let me tell you, he is as disgraced with the Democrats as anybody. I mean, we got to show the clip last night on the show after the speech, clip 10. He's just beside himself.
Man barked out one appalling claim after another, but don't you worry. The Democrats came ready to fight back with their little paddles, okay? That is how you save democracy, by quietly dissenting or bidding on an antique tea set. It was hard to tell what was going on. I'm just kidding. That was very cool, Democrats. In fact, I made my own sign.
Like, the Democrats are really just an embarrassment, Coach.
They don't want to do anything. They don't want to offer any solutions.
Nothing, no solutions.
I
But
mean,
their
they're an
solutions are
embarrassment.
so bad, though. Like, their solutions are so bad. They're such a disgrace that they really want to see Americans suffer. That's honestly how I feel, that they want to see Americans suffer. The fact that they want to continue this war in Ukraine and keep fighting a war that the Ukraine have no chance of winning and have Americans die over there so that they can continue to launder money is such a disgrace. It really is. It's so disgusting.
Well, you should show the clip with Trump talking to our favorite Pocahontas.
Oh yes, I mean that's too good. All right, let's go to that clip. Let's see. That is
17.
17. Man, you're on it.
Of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with
First time the Democrats clapped all night right here.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Look at her clapping it up for another 5 years. Clapping it up for another 5 years of the
Money
Ukraine war.
laundering.
Yeah,
I
she's
mean, it's
getting fat
fantastic.
rich.
How much money do you think the Democrats are getting?
Tons.
And I mean, you had both senators at that meeting with Zelenskyy before he went in, you know, that freaking cokehead.
I mean, Chris Murphy being one of them, another Connecticut representative.
And Blumenthal,
Yep.
why? Because
Dick.
how much money do you think that they have funneling into the military-industrial complex, and Connecticut
Tons
is
of
getting
money.
some hard cash? Yet the normal person in
Tons of
Connecticut is
money.
broke. The normal person has no money, but if you're part of the military-industrial complex, you're going to meet with Zelenskyy and say, listen, we got to keep this war going as long as possible, okay?
Well, you know what I found really interesting, I have to
What?
say? Remember when the Democrats were saying how Trump stacked the courts? He stacked the courts in his favor.
Yeah.
You're right, the Supreme Court, and how they, they'll make a complete mockery of the court system. Well, the Supreme Court today blocked Trump's ability to cut off the USAID.
Well,
funding.
And yes, and it's a little annoying because you would think as the executive, he'd be able to
Right.
say, listen, I don't want to send all
Money
this
all
waste.
overseas.
But you know what, Carlos, honestly, it's time for Congress to step up and pass a real bill.
But when you have people like that, they're not going to pass shit.
Well,
That's the problem. When you have people like that would rather continue the war and continue the death and the destruction for bullshit, and that's why you have to use the executive powers
I don't know if you're
to get
aware
that
of this,
done.
but one of the Democrat congressmen died last night after the speech.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. One of the Democrat congressmen died, so it kind of gave Mike Johnson a bigger majority.
When did that happen?
I'm not kidding
Are
you.
you serious?
I'm dead serious. One of the Democrats died yesterday after the speech.
That's
Now Mike
that's
Johnson has a
unbelievable.
bigger majority. So you know what? Congress needs to stop sending money to USAID.
Yep.
They control the House and Senate.
Yep.
And they keep voting on these continuing resolutions. So if you're going to keep voting on the continuing resolutions, all that does is keep last year's budget going to this year.
It's a terrible
So,
budget.
You know what? Trump took a bullet for this country. Why don't you step up, Republicans, and start doing the right thing and pass a real budget without the money going to USAID?
You calling out Mike Johnson
All
there?
right?
Speaker Mike Johnson?
Yeah, so that's how I look at it. Trump
Yeah.
is fighting everything himself, and then the courts, they're like, listen, honestly, Congress controls the purse. We got to be honest about it. So step up, Congress. Step up. Stop being a bunch of wimps.
But freezing the assets, I mean, I feel like you gotta let that go through right there. But no, I agree. Congress,
They have to step up.
They have to step up. They have to take a stand and say we need to drain the swamp. But I have no faith in Congress to do that because I feel like a majority of them have their hands in the cookie jar.
Well-
So I really don't. I don't have faith.
In clip 23, you buoy, Trump actually invites the Democrats to come together because the man works so hard. So he's even trying to help Congress come together. Please join
Right.
us. So let's go to clip number 23, please.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
And no, not one clap. Not one clap. Because why would we clap that working together? Why would we want that?
Who wants to make America great?
Yeah. Who wants to join forces and put our differences aside to get things done? Why would we want to do that? We don't want to do that shit.
Well, why don't we show Al Green getting thrown out?
Yes.
We'll go to clip number 26.
Al Green, unbelievable. This guy is so relevant. And he just, of course, makes himself get thrown out of Congress. Let's go, Al Green, 26.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant-at-arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
And how many people you better like? What a hero.
What a hero.
What
I
a
love
hero.
that.
They should have all walked out
Did you
with
hear
him.
the Republicans doing the no, like calling, tossing him out? I love that. Look at him with that
Look,
cane.
he still can't shut up.
Look at him with that cane.
Because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
The Democrats
doesn't
aren't
care.
there to find solutions.
No.
They're not there to work with the government. Look, I have to be honest with you.
Get fired up,
There's
Coach.
a big issue that I have, and it's called immigration. And
Oh,
Carlos
no.
and I don't
Oh,
agree
no.
with this all the time. So I
Here we
believe
go.
that there
Uh-oh.
are a lot of bad hombres that do need to be deported in this country. But I also believe that we are a light in the world, that we are a place of sanctuary. And I honestly believe, especially for a lot of the Haitian immigrants, that they should be able to find a pathway to citizenship easy because they are running for their lives. They don't come here fighting aged men alone. They come with their wives. They come carrying their children, okay? And that is what we should do as a nation, is to help those countries who can't come into, be safe in their own countries.
I absolutely agree that we should help their countries, but we should help their countries by helping their countries in their
because
countries.
the leaders steal everything,
Then
Carlos.
go kill the leaders. Go kill the
No,
leaders, Iraq style. Go
listen.
in there, U.S. military, and kill the leaders.
No.
That's what you have to do. Some countries need a hard reset. And in order to do a hard reset, you got to wipe out the button. And the buttons are the gangs that are running the thing.
They've done that
you have
many
to kill
times
them
in
off.
Haiti. They even
no,
had the Clinton
not really.
Foundation.
Not
Yes,
really.
they
The Clinton
did. And you know
Foundation
what?
did not go
Everybody
in there and
steals the
kill
money.
the gang members that were running the show.
Everybody steals the money,
The
Carlos.
U.S. military needs to go in there and,
You know
and
what
establish
I think?
order.
I think
That's
the
what you have to do.
Democrats need to get their ass into Congress, and they need to sit down at the other end of the table and say, listen, we're going to use some common sense.
Democrats.
We still have to offer some sanctuary to people who need it, and let's find a fast way to citizenship, a pathway that will help people who are running for their lives. Now, for the Mexican drug cartel, no. For the coyotes, no. Those people have to go back home. The fighting age males, go back home. But there are a lot of families here that
Yeah,
I
you
truly
can't-
believe I want to give them sanctuary.
You can't have
and
it
I want
both
them
ways.
to be able to have a life in this
You
country.
can't have it both ways, though. You
Yes,
got to
you
have it one or the
can.
other.
You
They
can-
won't
no,
allow you to have it both ways.
No, that's not
you have
true.
To
There's a
just
difference between somebody
establish-
running for their lives and somebody just running here for
No,
a better
because
life.
they all say they're running for their lives.
No, that's
Obama
not
gave them the
true.
magic key. Obama said, "Run in and say you're seeking asylum, and then you get a free car, you get a credit card, you get all sorts of shit." The Obama gave them the magic key. It said asylum. Asylum was the magic key.
Obama
So
deported more people.
everybody says they're seeking asylum.
Obama deported
Everybody.
a lot of people. They just kept it secret.
Everybody's
in the
seeking
media.
asylum.
Listen, we should be able to have a pathway to citizenship where people
There
can
is a
come to
pathway to
this country.
citizenship. There is a pathway to citizenship.
For people who are running for their lives.
Listen, we
should
can't.
be able to help
We're not
them.
goodwill. We're not goodwill.
Well, you know
we
what?
need to
Instead
take
of giving
care of.
our USAID
Let's take care of the guy sleeping outside on the street
And I agree, we
underneath the
can do
bridge.
both.
The American that's sleeping outside. That's who we need to take care of.
I
How
agree
about all
with
the
that.
veterans that are homeless?
I
How
totally
about
agree.
That's who we need to take care of.
We do
Let's
need to
do that
take care of
first
them.
before we decide we're going to be humanitarians and take care of everybody else's shit. You want to
I'm
deal with
not
their
saying to
country?
take care of
Let's go
everybody.
in and clean out their country of all the problems, and then they can start voting with the blue thumb like they did in Afghanistan. Let's do that because we cannot continue to take care of everybody else while we have Americans sleeping on the street. There's no reason with all the people that pay taxes in the United States of America that we should have such a massive homeless problem. That's bullshit. We should not have problems like that in the United States
And
of America.
Trump is a builder.
This is a first world country. This is a first world country. We should not have problems like
And
that.
Trump is a builder. And what
he
we
is.
should be doing is that we should be
Not building
capitalizing
for other
on
people,
his
though.
expertise, and the Democrats
America
should be working
first.
with him to try to get housing built for our veterans. The Democrats should be working with him to try to offer asylum for people running for their lives. But the problem is that what did Trump say? I could cure a disease, and the Democrats would not even care. What clip is that one?
That's 100% true. Yeah, he could do whatever he
What
wanted.
clip- what clip was that?
Hold on, I got it right here. It's I gotta start memorizing this order here of all these clips. 21. Clip 21.
This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
He's right. It shouldn't be this way.
It shouldn't be that way.
You
I agree
have
with
to be
that.
looking for solutions. If you really care about this country, you don't hold up a sign, save Medicaid. He didn't even cut Medicaid. They actually added 2% to Medicaid, so they're lying about that
Yeah,
too. Go
Medicaid's
look
still
it up
there.
yourself.
Medicaid's
All
still
right,
there.
but all they do is try to spread fear.
Yes.
And confusion
That's true.
and chaos, and that's what comes from Satan. And I'm telling you, I want to be in the good graces of God, and I want to do the right thing as a nation. And if there are people running for their lives, I want to be able to help them. Sorry, that's how I feel.
We need to take care of Americans first. It's just the truth. We got to take care of Americans first. We can't take care of everybody else. But you know what's going to lead us on the road to that success?
What?
Is Doge. Because Doge is going to continue to cut the wasteful spending, so that we can allow, spending money on things that's
And the
most
majority
important.
of Americans agree with that.
Yes.
They want to cut wasteful spending.
Absolutely. We have to cut wasteful spending. Now, listen, I feel for the people who, for some, I should say some of the people that are losing their jobs. I know it is hard, but let me tell you something right now. As somebody who works in the private sector, and you have so much experience working in the private sector, Dad works in the private sector. People who work in the private sector and people who own their own businesses and work for themselves, we understand the struggle every day. We know the struggle of job security and the struggle of getting fired and things like that. Government workers don't, honestly, 9 times out of 10, they don't worry about that problem. They don't.
Well, it's government money.
It's
There's no
time to
money
start
like
feeling the
government
heat. You should have to work for your job. You have to work. So now we're getting to the point where it's like, listen, you don't really work. Your job's a piece of shit. I'm done paying for it. We're cutting it. I'm sorry. We're cutting it. We have to get back to spending the money where it needs to be spent, like helping people.
Yes.
That's what we need to do. All right? I'm sorry. Enough is enough. And let me tell you something. The people who don't want things to be cut, a lot of the times it's because they're gonna steal the money. They're stealing the money, right? Let's look at Maxine Waters, the biggest Elon Musk hater of all time. Number 2, because she's stealing money. Let's go clip 2.
Maxine, you funneled over $1 million in campaign funds to your daughter. Is that why you're worried about Doge?
Get your ass away, young man.
Get your ass away, young
I
man.
wouldn't touch you. I'll press charges. But I'm just, I feel like that's a pretty fair question. Why are you so worried about Doge?
You're pushing me.
Why are you so worried about Doge?
You're pushing me. You're pushing me. Don't touch me.
Doge has a very high
She's a
approval
crook.
rating amongst the American people. So what? You don't want to...
Yeah, we can cut it there. But I mean, like, it's people like that who are stealing the money. That's who's
Carlos,
worried.
they're stealing the money for, and the other thing is that a lot of the Democrats, part of the reason why they wanted to flood the border is because they were stealing the money there, and they were giving their relatives the contracts in order to help all these migrants, these illegals come. I mean, it was just so disgusting. And then they would lie to us and say, "Oh, it's because of Congress. It's because of Congress." Well, let's go to clip number 5, and Trump explains how he was able to secure the border.
That's right. What we needed to do.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
That's what we needed. That's all we needed was a new president. That's what I mean. That's the truth. Look, I mean, what were the numbers for the border cross? It's a 98% difference between
Carlos,
Biden
it was like
and now.
160,000 in 1 month in like February 2022, and it's like 8,000 now.
If
Go
that.
from 160,000 to 8,000.
If that.
It's just in the month of February.
Yeah.
So it's just, honestly, they lie all the time. They
Yep.
have excuses all the time. They need the problems to get more money to pretend that they're going to get solutions for you. They're not interested in helping you. They're not looking for solutions. What they're trying to do is steal money.
And they're all on the same page. They all deliver the same message. That's the right. They'll go after Trump and they'll all deliver the same message to try to get their point across. I mean, this was unbelievable, this video that you sent me here. Let's show this video of them all saying the exact same thing word for word. Let's go clip 12.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
Look at that. They're all saying the same thing. Word for word.
They have their script.
I mean, you think there's one independent thinker there? One? There's not one independent thinker. And the Democrats' big line is, you're not educated enough. The Trump supporters, they're not very educated. And they're all reading from the same book that some asshole wrote.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They don't have an independent thinker in that group.
Well, Carlos, that's why yesterday they did not even clap for a child with cancer.
It was
because they said no
unbelievable.
matter what Trump says, nobody is allowed to clap. Why don't we show clip number 24
Let's show.
when Trump makes DJ a Secret Service agent? I mean, I was tearing up at home just watching it.
Yeah, DJ Daniels, poor kid suffering right now, is made an honorary Secret Service member. Let's show that.
Tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Oh my gosh, is that so adorable? Look at
all
them.
the Republicans,
Look at
and there's the
back.
Democrats in the back just sitting. No care from the Democrats. Look at all those people sitting down. That's the Democrat Party. You want to know what the Democrat Party is all about? Right there. Right there. It's all in it for themselves and their moolah and their pocketbooks. That's what they're all about. You want to know what it's like to be a Democrat? It's all about me. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. How could it better serve me? Not us, not the American people, not how can we better ourselves, not how can we make the nation great. They don't give a shit about making the nation great. It's like, how can I get rich? These people that have been in Congress forever, and been in politics forever, they're multimillionaires, billionaires now.
They're canceled. That's what they are. They're canceled. If you can't clap for a kid who has cancer, you're canceled.
Canceled.
We're
Giving it
doing
up for
to you
Lent.
now. You're canceled.
Giving it
You're
up for Lent.
canceled.
Done with the Democrats. Give up the Democrats for Lent, people.
Well, let's
Take
show
a
number
walk
14.
on the other side.
Because, they're all wearing the pink, right? You see them all wearing the pink?
Yes,
It's because they're
for
for
women.
women. Nobody loves a woman more than a Democrat, right? Let's look at clip 14.
Oh, this is interesting.
3 years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Yep.
And look at Peyton. She's out of shape now. You can tell poor Peyton hasn't been able to go work out.
I knew you were
No,
going
you know
there.
why? Because I have a bad Achilles. I know how it feels. I've gained like 17 pounds. I used to go to the gym. I was working out. Then I couldn't walk for over 2 months.
Yep.
It's tough when you get an injury.
It's
so
tough.
poor Peyton, here she is an athlete. Listen, my daughter, she plays basketball. My daughter plays volleyball. I
Yeah.
know. I don't want my daughter playing against a boy.
Yep.
Okay? I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
let's see how the Democrats reacted, the people who love and support women so much.
Yeah.
Let's go to picture number 27.
27. When they tweeted out about Peyton's injury and what had happened, this was a Democrat response by a congressperson. Unbelievable. Laughing. Below is the video of her getting hurt, and she quote tweets it in a laugh. in a laugh, laughing at the transgender male with a dick, slamming it in her face.
You have to watch that video. It really, I mean, that boy, boom, right on her head. She goes flying backwards. It's
really
an awful video to watch. Let me tell you something. They do not care about women.
They do
because
not.
If they cared about women, they wouldn't be encouraging them all to go get abortions. They don't care about women.
Yep.
Because if they cared about women, they would not be allowing men to play in women's sports.
Correct.
Okay? That's going to get women out of sports. That's not going to get more women to play sports. It's only going to encourage women to quit because they're going to get injured if they keep playing boys in these sports.
Yep.
And none of them voted to keep, and 80% of the country.
80% of the country wanted it.
80% of the country wants boys out of girls' sports.
Correct.
And they still don't support what the majority of the country wants because they only give a shit about themselves.
But Ma,
Divide
they
and
didn't even
conquer.
pick their presidential candidate. They don't care about what the country wants. They don't give a shit, ladies and gentlemen. They don't care. The Democrat Party does not care what you want or what you think. They're in it for themselves. They'll pick their own candidates in a back room. Oh, 80% of the country want to make sure that women can compete against real women and not have transgender men infiltrate the sport. Screw you. We're not going to pass that through because we don't give a shit what you want. We're going to push our agenda. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That is the truth, and it's right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, let's show clip number 13, because at the end of the speech, the majority of America seemed pretty happy.
Yep, let's show it.
This was the most boisterous, the longest, the most partisan speech I've ever heard a president give in this kind of setting, and I go back about maybe 50 years on this. I also think it may have been the most effective. I mean, if you ever doubted that Donald Trump is the colossus, the political colossus of our time and our nation, this night and this speech should have put that to rest. The Democrats seem to be falling into trap after trap after trap as he recognized these people and celebrated the people he pointed to in the gallery and their stories, while the Democrats sat glumly on their hands through all of that. It was a terrible look. Al Green's attempt to disrupt the speech was a bad look for the Democrats. This was I think, politically speaking, this was pretty powerful stuff, as powerful as I think I've heard.
It was. It was a very powerful speech because it showed how full of shit the Democrats are and how they really just don't care about you. That's really what it showed. He showed it. He exposed them for what they are.
And I think it said 78% of the country supported what the president said. This was like a flash poll. It was either like 74 or 78%. A flash CBS News poll supported everything that the president said. But let me tell you, this is one of the biggest problems. This is a, what do you call, like if you're going to show a teaser, like, oh, you know, if you don't want to show the show, like you don't want to let people know that you're giving away part of a show. Spoiler alert.
This is spoiler. That's what we're looking for.
So I was watching White Lotus. I don't know if you guys are watching White Lotus.
Big time show. White Lotus, HBO Max. Huge, massive show.
So the new season had a clip, and I said, oh my gosh, I've lived this life. So why don't we show clip number 18, ya buoy? Because this is more of the lie being perpetuated that you can't even watch a show without having things being seeped into your head.
The propaganda. Mm-hmm. Clip 18.
Like Christianity and most religions, they're made for men, right? The father sacrifices the son's a man, dies on the cross, the heroes are all men, and the women just cry on the sidelines.
You want the woman to be centered in the story?
No. It's all just so male.
You buoy, pause that right there for 1 sec. I have to pause this right here.
We're going to pause.
Because that is a lie. Let me tell you something about the Catholic Church.
Spiritual advisor,
Mary is the new Ark of the Covenant because she delivers Jesus. She brings Jesus, who is the truth, into the world, okay? Mary says to the angel Gabriel, thy will be done. Okay, so obviously this bitch doesn't know anything what she's talking about, okay?
That's right.
She needs to shut the fuck up because honestly, she doesn't know shit. She probably never goes to church and she needs to shut her fucking ugly mouth about things that she don't know shit about.
Whoa.
Okay, your buoy, you could continue
Spiritual
now.
advisor, we got real ghetto right there.
Sorry.
Let's continue on.
That's how I get when you just,
that was LES. LES came out right there,
Sorry.
Lower East Side, Manhattan.
Doesn't speak to me.
Well, I'm a woman, and I get a lot out of going to church. I love the people. It's very moving.
I didn't know you went to church.
Oh, yeah. We go every Sunday. Yeah,
Every Sunday, just like us, Coach.
Is it like a real Texan church, like with Bible thumpers and?
Oh, so now let's make fun of your church.
Bible thumpers.
More conservative than like LA people or like New York.
Oh, New York, you know, you live with the rats.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Living in filth in New York City.
Why would it be weird?
I don't know. If I was just around a bunch of Texans who voted for Trump, I guess I just feel a little alienated.
They're
Alienated.
nice people. Really good families.
Cool. But do you ever talk politics with them?
Sometimes.
Oh, it doesn't get awkward?
Why would it?
Because.
They're Trumpers.
Are you a Republican?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
I'm an independent. But Dave's a Republican. Oh my God. An independent, a free thinker.
Not only does she go to church, she might have voted for Trump.
Oh my God. Somebody who thinks for themselves. Holy shit.
We can't be friends with this heathen. We can't be friends with this heathen, this horrible person.
God.
Oh, gosh.
Somebody with a free thought.
You know what it is? She's not for women's rights.
Oh,
you vote
my
for Trump, you're not
God.
for women's rights. You go to that patriarchal religious church and then you don't care about abortion or women. You're a horrible person. Right? That's how they all think.
That's how they all think.
That's
Every
how they all
single
think.
one of them.
And I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, look at this. And then I watched that State of the Union yesterday, and I said, look at that. These are the evil people, but they'll try to convince you that you're the bad person.
Right.
Oh, you worship Jesus? You're an idiot. Oh, you support Trump? You don't care about women's rights or this country. Yet the Democrats will have women get beat up.
Yep.
Right? With letting men play in sports. They don't care about women. They don't care about religion. They don't care about God. The Democrat Party is evil. Pure evil.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry,
100%.
but they proved it. I called it the demonic National Convention. And let me tell you, oh, your acting skills. That's so funny. Well, I did really grow up in the hood, but...
No, but you're 100% right. And the Democrats, they just prove it in more ways than one. They just can't. But listen, they accuse you of exactly what they do, right? The Republicans are so intolerant. The Republicans are so disgusting. But look who the truth is, right? The truth comes out. They accuse you of exactly what you are. They accuse you of exactly what they do. And that's how it always is.
More people need to go pray, because if you start praying, you know what's going to happen?
Lenten
You're
season.
going to get something called discernment. So last week, we were talking about Zelenskyy, that he was supposed to go to the White House to sign the rare earth deal.
Yes.
I said, listen,
The
I don't
big
believe
story.
it. I think the guy's a big cokehead. I think he's full of shit. I think he's, he met with the EU. He's going to have like some kind of trick up his sleeve to make Trump look bad. Well, let's show what happened in the White House last week. Video clip number 8.
Oh, here we go. All right.
My name is Volodymyr Zelenskyy. You're probably wondering how I got here.
Got his ass kicked
Now
out
you
of
got
the White
thrown
House.
right out. Thrown right out. Just like that, actually.
Listen, you would have to live in outer space if you haven't already seen the clip with Trump fighting with Zelenskyy, with J.D. Vance telling off Zelenskyy.
Yep.
I mean, the guy's a real lowlife, okay?
100%.
But we need to show the clip of what is really motivating Zelenskyy. And that's the one where he really wants to be a part of NATO. Why?
22 is what we're looking for here.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war. And they will have to fight, because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying.
And they will be dying.
That's why he wants to be a part of NATO so badly.
Yeah, so that we can go die for him.
Yeah, so that we'll go fight his war for him.
And he just came right out and said it.
So he came out and said it. I haven't seen that clip anywhere.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when I found that clip.
Not on the news, not
because
anywhere.
he's such a cokehead and he's so stupid that he would actually talk too much shit and tell the truth in front of his own people.
Yeah. 100%.
He literally told the truth. He's like, listen, we need to be a part of NATO because then the Americans will come here and they'll fight the war for us.
Right.
Because if we're a part of NATO, and let me tell you something, don't get it twisted. He is a martial law president.
Yes.
The difference between him and Putin
100%.
is that the war ends. Putin's still going to be president of Russia. The war ends for Zelenskyy. Guess what? They're going to have an election in Ukraine, and he loses all his money, his power, his privilege. He's not going to be president anymore. So it is in his best interest to keep the war going.
100%.
Okay? Don't be fooled. There is no exit plan. Those people are just being put in a meat grinder for money.
Yeah.
So really, wake up, people. And I have to say, I saw this video, number 7, and I really enjoyed it. Let's look at clip number 7.
Oh, number 7. All right, I like that.
It's a full-time job. First thing in the morning, last thing at night.
We were one of the first people to actually make the ultimate sacrifice for the Ukrainian war.
Did you volunteer to fight?
No.
Nope.
Offer to take in a family?
Nope.
Offer money?
Nope. We actually changed our profile pictures to Ukraine flag.
I think I'm starting to understand how Martin Luther King felt.
Yeah. Changing the world one profile picture at a time. We stand with Ukraine.
That
We
one's
stand
pretty
with
obvious.
Ukraine.
You're coming across a little bit far right questioning this.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You want to send your kids to war? I don't want to send my kids to go fight the Russians.
Well, you know what my favorite part is the Democrats that are all about supporting Ukraine, right? We need to support Ukraine. We need to do this. We need to do that. Those people. No. I'm not talking about Pocahontas. I'm talking about the little bitch ass kids who sit in their rooms and all they do all day is get on their phone and tweet about how nasty Trump is. You know, go to protests and protest against Trump and Vance saying we don't need to fight in this Ukraine war. People that all they do is, you know, like play video games all day and not fucking give a shit about what's actually going on in the country. But then they'll fucking tell me that I have to go and continue to pay for the Ukraine war, that I have to go fight for the Ukraine war. Are you going to sign up to go fucking fight? Are you?
No.
Are you, little kid in senior year in high school who has fucking red hair? Are you going to go fucking fight for Ukraine? Are you? Because that's who's pushing that we need to stay involved in Ukraine. Not the actual people who are in the military or have, you know, or are able to actually go fight. It's the kids that are little wimps who, you know, are afraid of peanut butter that are like, oh, we can't, you know, we can't go and fight for, you know, we can't do that. But we'll tell you that you have to go too. That's the biggest problem. I can't fucking stand those people.
I totally agree with you. Well, there was a reporter who went and was asking people, you stand with Ukraine, are you going to go fight for them? Let's look at video number 9, please.
Would you join the military?
No. We're not from this country.
If they say it's compulsory, what would you do?
I'll just go back to my country. No, I'll just go back to my country.
First of all, I'm not a UK citizen. I'm an immigrant.
I'm Welsh.
No, unfortunately not. I'm not from this country originally. You know?
Where are you from?
Brazil.
Do you live here?
Yes.
Would you go to war for this country?
No.
I'm Pakistani.
No.
Are you a resident?
I'm a resident. I've got dual nationality.
You guys live in the UK?
Yeah, we do.
So Keir Starmer said, we're going to send boots on the ground.
Yep.
We're going to send copters. We're
Yep.
going to help Ukraine fight. That lasted all of about 2 days.
Not even.
I don't even,
Not
I
even.
mean, they are the ultimate bullshit artists over in Europe.
Ma, they don't have the money. Well, you know what people...
They don't have the bodies either.
I don't understand this. This drives me nuts. Guys, Europe is broke, ladies and gentlemen. They'll pay you to because they need people to go and put money into their economy. They're broke as shit. And so the fact that you think that the UK and France are going to pay to fight in a war and send soldiers, they have no chance. They can barely pay to afford shit in their own country. They are poor as it gets. The EU is a joke. It really is. It's a joke. It's always been a joke. Its entirety of existence, but it is a complete joke. There's no way that Europe is going to fund this war. They need us. They need the United States to cut the check. But that's it. We're done.
And
We're not cutting the check anymore.
They
We're
want to
done.
be a part of NATO.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they keep saying you can't trust Putin. You can't trust Putin. You can't trust Putin.
Mhm.
Let's go to video number 19 because Bill Clinton had something to say about Putin from years ago.
It's not his best friend?
Did Putin ever renege on a personal agreement he made to you?
He did not.
So behind closed doors, he could be trusted?
He kept his word in all the deals we made.
He kept the word in all his deals that we made. He's a man of his word, Vladimir Putin.
Because Putin is going to be president after the war is over.
The war is not dictating.
Zelenskyy is the one who's going to lose everything because then they're going to have an election again.
Yep.
Don't be fooled.
Amen.
So what does Trump have to say about Ukraine and NATO? Let's go to video 20.
What concessions would you like to see?
Oh, I don't want to tell right now, but I can tell you that NATO you can forget about. That's been, I think that's probably the reason the whole thing started.
Yep,
And I
because it
think,
is the reason the whole
JD,
thing
we
started.
can say that. What, do you have a statement on that? You've been very much involved. I gave him the beauty.
Great. Maybe the hardest question, sir. I mean, look, as the president said, we're not going to do the negotiation in public with the American media. He's going to do it in private with the president of Russia, with the president of Ukraine, and with other leaders. And I think that's how this has to go. I think I just want to push back against some of the criticism I've seen in the administration on this, because every single time the president engages in diplomacy, you guys preemptively accuse him of conceding to Russia. He hasn't conceded anything to anyone. He's doing the job of a diplomat, and he is, of course, the diplomat in chief as the President of the United States.
Perfect. Let me tell you, I love J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance is going to be the next president.
I love J.D. Vance.
He's a straight shooter.
I have never seen a vice president that I love as much as this guy.
Mhm.
Maybe Grant. Ulysses Grant for Abe.
Well,
Right? Was he? It was like he's Abe's top guy. Like I love
well,
J.D.
he was
Vance.
the general.
Right, but then he became president right after
Yes,
Abe. After
yes.
Abe was killed.
Yeah.
No,
But
he was the follow-up.
general.
Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't the VP.
No, he wasn't the VP. But I'm just saying, like this guy is just unbelievable.
You know what the problem is that Trump is running circles around all these people
Yep.
because he is a negotiator. He's a businessman. He's been doing this his whole life. He's
Right.
not being a puppet. You look at the Democrats, they get their scripts, and that's why all their videos were exactly the same.
100%.
Trump thinks outside the box. He's trying to get stuff done. He truly believes that God saved his life in Butler so he could save the United States of America.
That's right.
And we just have to show clip number 1 because you know how we were making
I
jokes
was just
last
gonna
week
say, yeah.
about Trump Gaza and, like we were having a good time. But originally, when we brought it up weeks ago, we said this is Trump trying to get people in the Middle East engaged
Motivated.
because he wants them to solve the problem.
Right, he's motivating
So he's
those
like,
people.
listen, I'll show you what I could do. So let's look at clip number 1 because this is a new development.
All right, let's go clip 1.
مهام حفظ الأمن داخل القطاع خلال المرحلة المقبلة.
At a meeting of Arab leaders in Cairo Tuesday, Egypt's president urging Arab states to adopt his country's plan for rebuilding Gaza. The plan is a counterproposal to U.S. President Donald Trump's proposition of permanently removing the roughly 2 million Palestinians from the enclave and turning the area into a tourist destination. Egypt's plan would rebuild Gaza by 2030 at a cost of $53 billion. Crucially, it would avoid resettling Palestinians. The first phase would involve the removal of unexploded ordnance and clearing of rubble and the building of hundreds of thousands of temporary housing units. In the following years, the plan envisions completely reshaping the Strip, the proposal being supported by the United Nations.
I welcome and strongly endorse the Arab-led initiative to mobilize support for Gaza's reconstruction clearly expressed in this summit. And the UN stands ready to fully cooperate in this endeavor.
As for leadership in Gaza, under Egypt's plan, Hamas would cede power to an interim administration of political independence until a reformed Palestinian Authority, which currently administers the occupied West Bank, could assume control. The counterproposal in its entirety approved by the leaders at the summit.
وندعو الرئيس دونالد ترامب إلى دعم
All right, we can cut it
Palestinian
there.
Authority President Mahmoud Abbas calling on.
But the Egyptian president originally wanted no part of it.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted any part of the Palestinians. They
Right.
didn't want to help. They didn't want to be bothered. Trump comes up with Trump Gaza. Yeah, all of a sudden they're like, listen, guys, we need to get together. We need to keep Trump out of this place.
Right. That's what it was. But honestly, it was a motivation tactic.
Exactly.
It was a motivation tactic. Like, let me get these people involved. Because that's who needs to be involved is the powerhouses over there. Egypt, Saudi Arabia. They need to get involved here. And I think it is going to increase tensions a little bit because it's two different Muslim laws between the Shia and the Sunni. So it is going to create a little bit of a holy tension there. But listen, I mean, that's what needs to happen. You have to get these people off their asses and get them involved. But honestly, I mean, the images of Palestine, I mean, how could you possibly keep those people there?
Well, they said they're going to build temporary housing.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to clean it out. And they're going to fix it. I mean, now they're stepping up. Before they were like, not my problem. Now,
not my problem.
Now Trump Gaza will be a big problem for them. So they're like, okay, let's get involved and let us control which direction that this is going to go into.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to. It really is. It's complete disaster. But those big Muslim countries, they have to get involved. They have to figure out a way to do it. But honestly, I still firmly believe that the two-state solution is failed. It's never going to work. The two-state solution is a failed idea.
Well, hopefully with all the other countries involved, maybe they'll be more motivated to make it work and they won't be funding Hamas. They'll get rid of Hamas and maybe let's keep praying. That's all we can do is keep praying.
Yeah.
But Carlos, I did see this one video and I couldn't believe that somebody was spying on me while I was in New York over the summer.
Oh, somebody was spying on you.
Yes. And I said, oh my gosh, they took this video of me while I was in New York with my son and the people that I was working on the play with. So I just want to show you.
All right, let's show the video.
The stress is real. It's video number 3.
Look at this shit. I can't even believe you're having me come down in this train.
Well, it's going to be the fastest way to get to the show at this point.
Shit. Shit.
I know. It's going to be okay.
I don't want to take the train.
Breath. I know you don't want to take the train, but it's the only option that we have right now because taking a car is not going to be quick enough, and Pierre is not cooperating today.
You gotta get on the train with all the goddamn riffraff.
Well, it's just everyday people. That's what most of us call them.
Everyday people? I'm not everyday people.
I know you're not everyday people. And this is a new thing. I know it's been a while since you've taken the train. But now you can
I never take the train.
Well, I know that.
Tap the goddamn thing.
1 second. Okay, now walk through.
Where do I go?
We're just gonna wait here for a second.
Well, you know you gotta get up against the wall because they're pushing people down in the train these days.
That's true.
They're pushing people in front of the trains, Coach.
So I took the train one time. I was in New York for a month, doing rehearsals for a play that my son wrote.
Yep.
And I was exactly like Margot.
One time.
I was so pissed at him. I was like, I'm not fucking taking the train. How dare you make me take the train? I'm not. And I was exactly like her. And I was like, Chip. And he's like, it's the fastest way to get to where we're going. I don't give it. I was so I was like, oh my gosh. It's like they watched me. And they were like, oh, we got to write this down.
We got to write this little bit about this lady.
Because that's exactly how I was. For my one, except what they also missed is that this was in the summer, New York City, where it was just tons of illegals everywhere, right?
Illegals all over the place.
So in order to just get
there.
to the subway, it was like, I thought I was in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, to be honest with you.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
It was just
that's what you want, though. You want to bring them all in.
It was like 9 o'clock at night and just hundreds of men because they have nothing to do but just loiter. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm so pissed. And I'm walking through like this crowd. And I just thought it was so funny because, I mean, the struggle is real. When you're in New York and you don't have a choice but to take the subway, the struggle is real. I wish Trump could do something about making the subway great again because I used to take it, but now it's just horrible.
Well, who knows? Maybe he will. Him and Eric Adams, his new best friend. Maybe they will get something done.
I know. Hopefully Cuomo won't when he's the one who destroyed New York.
Yeah, Cuomo has a little respect for Trump, though, I think. I think him and Trump will work well together, you know? The Italians are all about the respect there. So I like Cuomo. But oh my gosh, I mean, real quickly before we wrap up here, we talked about Timothée Chalamet last week. Got snubbed at the Oscars. Got stuffed after his performance as Bob Dylan. Stuffed Heisman for that pianist
was a good movie
guy.
too. We watched it.
You watched The Complete Unknown, right?
Yeah,
What did
he
you
had
think?
like maybe about 15 lines the whole movie besides the singing.
Yeah, listen, I thought he was going to win, but then the pianist guy won. What's his name?
Oh, of course, that Brody guy, right?
Brody.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah,
is that his name?
I think so. They love that. They love
and
that
he
dude.
was such a prick. But you know who I really felt sorry for was Demi Moore.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe she got gypped. But you know what the problem is? You can't win Best Actress anymore unless you're completely naked having some sex in the movies.
You got to be having the sex in the movie all over the place.
So she was naked, but it was on the bathroom floor.
Right,
Demi
not
Moore.
having the sex.
This other girl was having the sex all over the place.
Yeah.
Having the sex in the strip club, having the sex with the guy, the young guy that she falls in love with. You got to watch that movie.
What was the name? What was the Honora? Yeah, they won Best Picture too. Honora won Best Picture.
Best Picture?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's too bad
Soft
that
porn.
Southern Village couldn't go against Honora because maybe Southern Village would have won Best Picture, baby.
Oh wow!
But
Shout
the
out Southern
problem is
Village.
that there's no nudity.
No nudity. Yeah, so it would have been
nudity,
ass's
so-
grass. It would have been no way. You got to have the soft porn now.
Exactly.
That's what they're looking for, is soft porn in the movie industry. But yeah, the Oscars was a total flop. Conan O'Brien.
I heard Conan was a little funny.
You thought he was funny?
I didn't watch any of it, but I heard he was funny.
Nah, I think Conan's ass.
Listen,
They
I
all
don't
suck.
want to watch.
They need to get Shane Gillis up there. That's my guy. I love Shane Gillis.
Look,
Shout
you
out
saw
Shane
the
Gillis.
people in the White Lotus?
Mhm.
That's the attitude of everybody in Hollywood.
That's true.
I mean, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I'm sure they're dissing our crosses right on our faces. They're like, look at these idiots still doing the Ash Wednesday.
Yep.
They're probably insulting me because I had 4 children. I
Right.
mean, I don't want to be around those people.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why I feel so blessed that I met Enrico and he loves God. He makes movies. It's fantastic. But you know, your Bowie makes movies, fantastic.
Fantastic.
People who love God. That's the people I want to be around. I don't want to be with those satanic worshipers at Hollywood. I really don't.
Well,
I
guys,
don't give a
listen. I
shit.
mean, just as we started the show, we gotta end it on the right note.
Mhm.
Take this Lenten season as an opportunity to really gain some closeness with God. Right? Find that relationship with God. Take the advantage of this season. This is a great opportunity to really build on that relationship and get close with God and find that connection. It's really, really important, and I think it will help you guys in your daily lives. Coach, you got a little prayer for us here?
It says, Father, speak in me the secret of your divine life and grant me the grace to treasure it as a token of your love.
That was excellent.
Well, I didn't write it.
Excellent little passage there that you left us with. Spiritual advisor coach here on the show. But guys, thank you guys all for tuning in so much. We had a very active chat tonight. We had lots of viewership. Thank you for everybody watching on X. Thank you for everybody watching on Rumble. Thank you for everybody watching on YouTube. Guys, you know what I'm going to tell you to do right now. Make sure you hit that like button. You see that like button on the bottom of the YouTube screen. You see that like button on the bottom of the Rumble screen. Guys on X.
Follow on Rumble.
Follow on Rumble. Follow on us on X. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you guys are going and sharing. Share. Retweet on X. Retweet, repost, whatever it is called now. Guys, get us out there. Make sure you guys are commenting. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you guys are sharing. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. Let's get those numbers up. You guys can listen to us on your commutes. Going to work. Make sure you guys are hitting that up. All right? Awesome show. Coach, you got any last thoughts that you want to drop in?
No, just cancel a Democrat.
Cancel a Democrat. We're giving up Democrats for Lent. We're giving up the bullshit and the Democrat Party for Lent. That's what we're doing. Make sure you guys give it up this year. Make sure you guys get that connection with God. Guys, same time, same place next week, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. You'll see us here, YouTube, Rumble, X. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. And as always, stay thirsty, my friends. All right.